Amazon Web Services is a cloud computing platform that provides content delivery, storage, and on-demand computing for enterprises, developers, and governments through their offerings of physical server clusters, virtual computers, or software infrastructure suites as a subscription-based model. It has pioneered the model of infrastructure as a service, which handles many of the back-end logistical problems any developer or company would face today. It originally launched with only a handful of services such as the Simple Queue service and the EC2, but has expanded to allow offerings of machine learning algorithms and AI components to meet the needs of any customer. Like most renowned companies, Amazon did not start off successfully. Prior to its establishment, Amazon started to gain more fame, and it needed a way to handle its ever-growing reputation. For this reason, in 2006, Jeff Bezos, current Amazon CEO, and his executives established Amazon Web Services. What was once a small, insignificant company has grown into the most successful cloud infrastructure company on the planet. AWS is widely used and known for being simple, less costly, and less of a hassle compared to other cloud computing infrastructures, thus attracting many big companies. Concerning the data and information processing components, they can be split into three main categories, as they implement algorithms, architectures, and AI. Due to the diverse nature of the currently available services, there is not a single architecture, algorithm, or AI that is employed, but multiple components to fulfill the needs of any single specific service. However, data is primarily obtained from a client once they have chosen their specific service, while also accepting a wide variety of data forms such as program files or even through the entire databases. AWS also offers and employs numerous AI services and packages such as Amazon Lex, which is responsible for the construction of deployment of chatbots that are often utilized in customer management, and Translation AI, which is similar to Google Translate. Basic text-to-speech, speech-to-text, and text extraction AI services are also available. In terms of architecture, AWS does not abide by a single model, but instead employs different frameworks depending on the task. Without getting into too many technical details, the Marla Python-based framework proves to be an example of a highly scalable and fault-tolerant system. In terms of display and communication components, physical server locations are available through 64 international availability zones, which also allow the ability to cross zone utilization alongside non-traditional models such as the AWS no server model seen in Lambda. As of today, there are 64 total zones spread across 21 geographic regions, with plans for 4 new regions which will introduce 12 new zones. Amazon offers a wide variety of products that fall into about 20 categories. These include database, networking, storage, and many more. This allows users and companies to host their entire infrastructure in the cloud. AWS can be confusing for a new user, so videos on basic usage of each product would help people use AWS even easier. One of Amazon's products that has caused controversy is AWS Recognition. It has been sold to the government and was used to identify attendees of the royal wedding in England. Another controversial topic is who is liable for issues when they happen. While AWS is responsible for most issues, users still need to manage access control, monitoring, and other aspects of services. Anyone can purchase AWS due to their pay-as-you-use model. The model works as such. You pay per gigabytes you use for user activity on server or memory stored in AWS cloud computing. If you do have a flooding of users, no worries, AWS has you covered. The EC2 reserved capacity allows you to take up to 70% more server usage. This allows more users to enter your website as well as keep it running for the concurrent users. These are the 3 payment plans Amazon offers for their reserved capacity service. Quite a few major companies like Netflix, McDonald's, and NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab use AWS. Netflix is the world's leading internet television network. It uses AWS to analyze messages from thousands of application instances daily. It also uses Amazon Kinesis streams, allowing Netflix to process network flow logs rapidly. Switching things up to the fast food industry, McDonald's uses EC2, Elastic Load Balancing, EBS, and Elastic Cache, to support its global POS system. The POS system that is backed by AWS allows for maximum transactions, allowing for maximum growth. NASA uses AWS to take and store large quantities of images sent by rovers from their expeditions to Mars. In addition, NASA can quickly provide the public with information about Earth science research, such as the Earth's temperature, precipitation, and how much area forests cover. Before the existence of AWS, most online games typically used peer-to-peer network configurations, which were heavily dependent on single players' network to host them, or dedicated server frameworks that often struggled to accommodate large numbers of players due to the limited number of servers available. With the introduction of AWS and its unique dynamic load balancing capabilities, game server hosting was no longer strictly limited to the number of physical servers available. Instead, reserve servers could be activated in the event of a large influx of players to prevent long waiting queues or connection errors. When player populations would fall, the active number of servers would also scale down to meet the decreased demand while also saving on valuable server resources. For example, two notable games that use AWS servers today are Fortnite and For Honor. Both games use a feature provided by Amazon's Elastic Cloud Compute. In conclusion, AWS is undoubtedly the most dominant cloud computing service today, with a recorded 2019 Q1 earning of $7.7 billion, which resulted in 41% growth in one quarter alone. The earnings also made up 13% of Amazon's total earnings during the quarter. The infographic also shows the large market share that AWS holds at 35%, which is larger than the four following cloud computing platforms combined. AWS's 142 different services also illustrate the broad reach and influence, while also consistently expanding its offerings as new innovations arise. As a result, AWS provides a solid framework for future innovations and developments regardless of size, scope, or needs, from the smallest individual developers to the largest corporate enterprises.